What's up? Matt from Urchfab here. I know what you're thinking. I've just seen the Mini all finished and done, and now I'm looking at it looking like it has for the past 6 months, and unfortunately what you've just seen is not reality. So yeah, what you're looking at right here is a CGI creation done by my buddy Sam. And I have no idea how this kind of stuff is created, but the level of detail and how real it looks is pretty mind-blowing. Sam contacted me and asked if I wanted him to do a drawing of the car, and I actually had a design idea for a livery in my mind, so I did a little sketch on a bit of paper and said, could you incorporate that into a Mini that would look like mine so I can see what it looks like. And this is what he's come up with, and even the detail down to the wheels you're looking at there, that is actually a design that John from Specialist Components sent to him, so it's literally the exact same wheel. You know, all the detail of the cage work, everything is just insane how realistic and lifelike it is. He took all the logos and stuff off of the 100E from when I did Time Attack, laid all that over for me so I could really see, you know, what the thing was going to look like. And it's really cool to be able to see the finished thing before it's actually finished. So I'm going to put all Sam's details in the description, and here's his Instagram if you want to go and check out some of the stuff he does. He does some really cool Mini related artwork. He sells his prints as well. If you're looking for some art for your workshop wall or your house and you're into Minis, then definitely have a look at some of the stuff he's done, because it's quite something. So yeah, apologies if you were expecting a finished car. I've not done really anything to it in a long time, and the reason for that is that I just have run out of budget for it. I think realistically, for me to get this finished and at the first race, I would need to chuck about 5 grand at it and about 2 weeks of work to finish it off, being realistic. There's a lot of very little time consuming jobs and a lot of bits that need buying. I don't want this to be a video of me moaning about the cost of racing, but I'm just going to run through all the stuff that's left to do on it. Starting in the engine bay, we've got complete breather system to do, which is a 2-litre catch can which sits up under here, which is like, you can basically buy a whole kit, which seems to be the same thing that everybody runs, so I'll just get the same setup, so there's nothing to argue when it gets scrutineered. The throttle linkage for the carb with throttle cable. We need complete fuel system, all the fuel lines with the fuel pressure regulator, fuel filter, fuel pump. Need to make some brackets up for the oil cooler. Headlights still need wiring in. I've got the plug down here ready to go, just need to do the wiring up to the lights. Clutch master cylinder we need plumbing in with clutch lines. The brake system I'll talk about in a second. That was actually my plan today, was to get all the brake lines done. What else? Need the air filter. On the inside we've got to run all the obviously fuel lines through here, brake lines, need a handbrake. So I bought a load of this braided brake hose, just like the DIY stuff that you make yourself. You got these little compression type fittings. So what stopped me in my tracks with that is I was going to start with mounting the fluid pots for the brakes. This is the stuff I got when I bought the pedal box, which I basically had to completely re-engineer because it was absolute garbage. It's going to be difficult for me to do this with one hand, but these are the fluid pots, and that there is how many threads turn you get onto the base of that with that fitting. So you've got like 1 turn of thread on it, which is obviously no good. If you look at this, so I don't know if you can see, but like the threads are like flattened off. So it's like the diameter of that wasn't big enough when they cut the thread or something. So you not only have you got a fitting that's held on with 1 turn, it's held on to a thread that's not even cut properly. So that wants to go in the bin and start again. Then we need full fire extinguisher system with the external cut-offs here. Same with the battery, we got to have battery cut-offs there. The doors are painted and ready to go, but they need to have a door card and a foam insert inside, and Lexan windows as well. Need a wiper motor. Got a fuel tank, bought a fuel tank off Matt Skidmore, which is the same fuel tank that everybody seems to run. We need our drop links for the rear anti-roll bar as well. Still got to mount the boot lid and paint that. Still got to mount all the arches, paint those. Tyres, these tyres are actually new but very old. You can see they're all starting to split. They're very dry, so it's not worth risking putting all this work into something, trying to run an old tyre to save a few quid and it falling apart and crashing the car. So I need a new set of slicks. You've also got to have a set of wets as well, so they're about £200 a corner. I've had a bit of a run of buying the wrong parts, so the disc and hub are wrong for this brake. The drive shafts, I've got these Hardy Spicer output shafts, which the Hardy Spicer shafts are really expensive. You're looking at about 500 quid just for a set of shafts. I've got like a standard pop type shaft, but I thought I'd just be able to change that, but you can't. You got to change that, and the bit inside the diff. There's that to sort out, and then there's a set of mounts which go on here and here, which connect back to the subframe here to support the bottom of the engine. So I've got a set of those. The last fabrication job on the car is the full exhaust system, so I'm just waiting on some parts for that, and then I can make the exhaust, and then everything else really is just buying bits and bolting it on. What else? Need brake pads. These run a ceramic brake pad, is the pad that I've been told to get, which everybody uses. That must be nearly it. Wing mirrors, wiper motor. There is the safety equipment I need. My helmet is out of date, so I need a new helmet, and some other fireproof stuff. And then you've got entry fee for one race, about 500 quid, plus the membership for the year is about 220 quid, I think. So yeah, once you add all that up, it's like I said, quite an expense, and still quite a lot of work to get done to get to that first race. So it'll happen eventually, but at least I get to see the finished car before it's actually finished, so that is pretty cool. So thanks Sam for doing that for me, I really appreciate it. Moving on to this one, took this out to a little local car show yesterday, and it won a trophy for best modified car. I've had my local scrutineer come out to check the car over to see if it would be eligible for doing a hill climb. I'm pretty local to a few hill climbs here, one of them being Wiscombe Park, which I quite often go up and watch. And I spoke to Tony, the scrutineer there, and he came over, ran through a few things that I would need to do on the car to make it eligible for hill climbing. And because of what this car is, it would basically have to go in the sports Libra class, which means it needs its own like motorsport sort of logbook. So once I've done these few little bits that he's said need doing, then I can get that logbook for it and basically enter it in to run a hill climb. So that's my plan. The first thing that needs doing is the fuel tank, and all the fuel system has to be completely separate from the driver's compartment. So all this in here has to be basically boxed in. So what I'm going to do is, you can get some like fire resistant big tubing, like corrugated tubing that you see quite often when cars have like a fuel filler coming through the Lexan window or something. You'll see it. It's like big corrugated like Hoover hose that's fireproof. So I'm gonna have to make some sort of gasket type thing with a tube here that I can connect it to, and then basically make that all fit inside some tube and work out how I'm going to connect it up. I've got to do that. The only other thing was the seatbelt. Seatbelt's got to be in date. So yeah, need to buy a new seatbelt, and then same deal as with the Mini, I need a new helmet and just the safety gear, which I'm going to need for hill climbing or racing, so it's stuff I need to get anyway. Also got a seat cover for the passenger seat, so I can, you know, do some passenger rides at track days without people, you know, sliding around on an aluminium base. So the welding classes have been going really well. I've had about 15 of you guys in now, and I think everyone that's come in has been people that have watched the channel. Been doing TIG classes, MIG classes, one-to-one classes with people bringing their own machines in, and yeah, it's been really good. Got all brand new material, all cut up, ready to go. You're not like you're not going to be sifting through the scrap bin to find dirty material. This is literally all brand new, guillotined up, ready to go. Loads of different welding machines. Some of this stuff is going to be up for sale cheap soon. If you are in the market for a welder, just drop me an email. If you're in the UK, that is. I'll just show you the setup I got going next door. So when I moved units, I was going to be sharing the unit with another company, solar installation company, which I was going to be doing some work for. So we were going to split the rent. They were going to run that company out of here, but that's all fallen through now. So this has just become my office and a little bit of a classroom type, somewhere to chill out, drink tea and talk about welding. So come on down, I'll teach you to do some of this. Some of the old long-time viewers might remember this from the old cowshed days. I've had people come from really far already to come here, which is quite, you know, blown my mind a little bit, how far some people have been willing to travel. But I can recommend some good places to stay around this local area if you are traveling to come here. So drop me an email if you're interested. Details are on the website, urchfab.com. That's it for this one. Cheers for watching. See you on the next one.